Good morning, folks. I'm Brandon, that's Zephyr, and behind the camera we have Bryn, and today we're doing the first ever video tour of Zephyr the bus, and I'm super excited about this. This is gonna be kind of like a timestamp for me, if you will. I'm always working on this bus, I'm always changing it, so I'm gonna be able to look back at this video and know that at this point in time, it looked like this. Anyways, we'll get right on into it. Zephyr is a 1972 Volkswagen bus, German-made bus, and the thing about 1972 was it was a transition year for Volkswagen. And actually, it's the only year of bus that has an early bay window front end with the turn signals down low, the large VW emblem, and the wraparound rounded front bumpers. But when you come to the back of the bus, it's got the larger air intake vent that you would recognize on a later bay window bus, as well as the taller turn signals that you would recognize on a later bay window bus. But anyways, why don't we go on, jump on inside and take you for the tour. Alright, up here at the front of the bus now, it's exactly as you would expect from an old bay window bus. You've got this big steering wheel in the center here with a horn that sometimes works. It is a 4-speed manual transmission. My favorite part here is my Herbie the Love Bug number 53 gear selector knob. And the keen-eyed among you might notice that my gear selector is bent. I don't know why it's bent. It came like that. Top speed, about 70 miles an hour on a good day after a fresh tune-up. Couple other things. Safety is very important to me, so I've actually upgraded this to a 3-point retractable seat belt. These are a bolt-on option that you can get, so I'll leave a link to those down below. And by the way, I'm going to leave links to everything that you see here down below so that you can check those out at the end of the video and make your bus exactly like my bus, because mine is perfect. Safety first, comfort second. I have this nice partial shelf down here. Buses didn't come standard with these, but you can get them for pretty inexpensive. Highly recommend getting one. It is very convenient. And then entertainment third. Entertainment wise, I have a custom auto sound stereo unit, which is great. It looks period correct. It has Bluetooth, auxiliary in. It also can do AM and FM radio. It has a USB port so I can charge my phone. It's just a very reliable system, and I think the best part about it is, unlike other systems that you can install in a bus, this one does not require you to cut out the dashboard. So that's pretty cool. I have that hooked up to 3 speakers, 1 speaker here in the center of the dashboard, and 2 down below in the kick panels. A couple other fun things about the front of my bus. I've started my patch collection here on my glove box. These are some of the places that I've gone camping at. I love collecting patches. You'll see more when we get to the back of the bus. When you're traveling out of a van, you really try to find a lot of places to store stuff. Underneath my passenger seat, I have a tow strap as well as some spare VW parts. Behind my seat, I have the front curtains to my bus. And then right here in the center console, actually, not really a center console, but I store my stove, couple of jackets, first aid kit, water, sunscreen, bug spray. My fanny pack is in here. My propane heater is in here. Well, that's about it up here. Why don't we crawl on over to the back and see what's going on? Well, if it's business up front, then it's party in the back for this old wagon. Folks might recognize that this has a partial early bay window Westphalia interior, as well as some custom pieces that I built myself. And because I'm very proud of things that I build myself, I'm going to go over those first. This is a custom cabinet that I built specifically for the back of Zephyr. It bolts directly into the jump seat mounting bolts. You know, early bay window buses would have a rear-facing jump seat here. I took mine out and I put this in. This cabinet is great because it gives me a place to store my cooler and my 7-gallon water tank, which are some of the heaviest things that I take with me when I go camping. I've also got storage for shoes for 2 people, mine on the bottom, Bryn's on top here. And then I've got 2 drawers, which open all the way. They're a little empty at the moment. But in here is where I'll store cooking supplies. I'm a cast iron guy, so I'll throw my cast iron skillet in here. We'll also throw some Tupperware and some seasonings, some spices, and some oils in there. And then over here is where we keep our dry food. I swear it opens. Our dry food, our snacks, and our other fun stuff. It's got this wonderful countertop on it. I tell you guys, having a flat surface in a van is so valuable, and I didn't have one until I built this, and I love it. This is a really nice finish. I torched this wood with a blowtorch, and then I sealed it with some spar urethane sealer, so it's beautiful, it's waterproof, and it's durable. These handles double as towel racks. I've got some custom curtains that my mom helped me make. These are full blackout curtains. They keep out the light, they help insulate the bus just a little bit more when it's nighttime, and they're palm trees. They look super cool, so thanks, Mom. I have to keep my bus really clean, so I'm gonna take some time and put these back the right way. The other custom cabinet in my bus is this cabinet right over here. This cabinet I built in just one evening in my garage, and then Bryn and I stained it on my kitchen table. This is just a good place to store, you know, sweeping brush. My hatchet goes in here. Every Volkswagen bus needs a fire extinguisher, so that goes in here as well. Oh, we've got a speaker in here, some headlamps, playing cards. Bryn and I are surfers, so surf wax is in here. My favorite part of this is actually this bottle opener right here. I found this in Cayucas, California in an antique store the first time I drove this bus up the coast. I only went as far as Big Sur at the time, but it was still a really cool trip, and I have this nice seahorse bottle opener to show for it. And to catch my bottle caps once they've fallen, Bryn is a diver. She has found me this wonderful abalone shell that catches bottle caps, but I think she'll agree with me that we mostly end up just storing our keys or our headlamps in there. We're in Pismo Beach today, so cool to see that patch out here. And I got my sassy Sasquatch, and I'm a sucker for Polaroids. You're gonna see a lot of Polaroids coming up here throughout the rest of the tour. So this has been just a very easy to build cabinet, very convenient, and I think it looks pretty cool. The rest of my camping interior is exactly what you would expect in an old bay window bus with the Westfalia conversion, but of course, knowing me, I had to modify it. Again with the palm tree curtains, except on the slider door, the curtains are full length, so we can open up the sliding door but close the curtains, get a little breeze. It always helps. On the passenger side of the bus, we have this nice closet. It does create a pretty big blind spot, which makes changing lanes scary, but I'm willing to look past it because it provides a lot of great storage. Inside, you see a lot of Polaroids. As I mentioned, love Polaroids. And inside the closet, you can see that I've modified it with 2 shelves. The shelves make it so much easier to store clothes, and I feel that with the shelves I can store a lot more clothes than I normally could. Well, anyways, that's where I put my clothes. On the outside of the closet, just underneath this bandana, is a nice big mirror here. Initially, the mirror on a Westfalia would be inside the closet. It's not the handiest thing to look at in the mornings when you're just trying to get yourself ready, so I put a nice mirror up here. Up at the top here, we've got our hats. And back behind me is the headbanger rack. This is where Bryn stores her clothes. Between the two of us, we can store about a week's worth of clothes in here. Maybe a little bit more if we had backpacks or suitcases in the back, but I really wanted to have our stuff built into the bus just to make it feel a little bit more like home. And then this dollar bill is really funny. This moldy old $1 bill fell out of the dashboard of Zephyr when we were driving home from my birthday camp out. So I figured, hey, that might be Zephyr's birthday present to me. I've spent so much money on this bus, and what does he give me back? One moldy dollar bill from 1988. So Bryn laminated that, and I set that up on the wall here. Now I'm sitting on a bench seat, as you guys can clearly tell, and being a Westfalia bench seat, it's got storage underneath it. Underneath it is where I'll put chairs, a mat for us to change into our wetsuits on, and other camping supplies will go down in there. And then I'm sure you folks are already familiar. By the way, tin top bus means I look like this a lot. I'm sure you folks are already familiar with this guy. This just kind of pulls out and becomes a bed. And why don't we go back there and we take a look at what's going on back there, and then maybe I can stand upright. Back of the bus now, and you can see where the cushion extends to complete the bed. This is where we store our pillows. We have a puffy blanket and a double sleeping bag. Usually that's enough to keep us warm all night, but we also have a propane heater that will do the rest of the job for us if we need to. On the driver's side, we have the spare tire. And then on the passenger side, we have the continuation of the closet. Back here is where I store one more blanket. Our hammocks go back here. Leveling blocks, jumper cables, any tools that I need. My tool bag is in here. I also keep my propane for my heater in here and my butane for my stove back in here as well. Over here, I love this. This is the Bay Bravo by Venture Libre. This is a wonderful tool storage option for what would originally be just a blank space. And for those of you who are familiar with Volkswagens or drive old Volkswagens, you know that you need to get into your tools pretty often, so having them handy right here, right above the engine bay, just makes that a lot easier. And then the last things to note about the back here are my third brake light. I have a video on installing this that you can check out on my channel, and as you can see, it's still just held on there with some tape. I will install it fully eventually, guys, just bear with me. And then a fun upgrade I have back here is this pull string that you can use to open up the back hatch while you're inside. The hatch is actually the only door that they don't have a interior handle for, so you can't open it from the back. But I put a little string in here and it does exactly as it should. Here's one of my favorite parts of Zephyr. This is the engine. This is a 1700cc engine. It is the stock engine, and actually on this trip it just passed 100,000 miles. These engines are wonderful. I love this one. I've taken it out a couple times, I've cleaned it, I've painted some bits of it, and I've also done a lot of work to it here and there. A couple of modifications. It has a single carburetor. From the factory it would have been a dual carburetor. Look, say what you want about the single carburetor. I've had this one on for more than 2 years. I love it. It's never let me down. It's easy to tune, easy to clean, and it's just been wonderful. I also have a Pertronix electronic distributor, as well as a Pertronix flamethrower coil to complement it, as well as Pertronix plug wires to run to my spark plugs. Well, folks, we're almost to the end of our video, and if you've watched this far and enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up down below. Tickle that YouTube algorithm for me so that I can get more views, and eventually people will pay me to travel and use their products. Because isn't that what we all want? Anyways, Zephyr runs on a set of General Grabber all-terrain tires. These are awesome. We were actually just driving around in the sand dunes yesterday on the beach here at Pismo, and those sit pretty on the stock 14-inch wheels. Pay no attention to my missing lug nut. It's all a work in progress, folks. Up at the top here, I have an all-top 6.6-foot awning. This has been a game changer for us camping. We no longer have to only sit in the bus. If we're trying to get out of the sunlight, we can just pop this guy out, and makes it a lot more comfortable and really kind of expands our home. And that's mounted to a set of Thule high clearance roof racks. These roof racks are wonderful. I'll throw my surfboard up here, I'll throw a paddleboard up here, and sometimes on the other side I'll throw a roof shower, and these just expand the bus so much. They maximize what we can carry with us, and doing that makes camping just a lot more convenient and accessible for us. And hey, if you have a tin top bus, I cannot recommend roof racks enough. Well, folks, that's all we got for you today. This bus is probably going to change a lot in the next 2 years, as it has in the first 2 years of ownership. So we'll be back in a couple years with another tour video. But until then, come join us for some of our travels and our adventures, bus upgrades and modifications, and maintenance work. Well, anyways, it's a beautiful day here. I think Bryn and I are going to go get some lunch and then maybe go surfing in a little bit. So catch you guys next time.